Sunday morning and I'm bored. I don't know what to do with myself. So I'm going to clean out my buckets with a jet wash just to get them all looking nice and spick and span again, ready for the week. It's got to get some views on it. Here's my jet wash. And I know it's not a Karcher, but I've had this thing for about 7 years. It's a brilliant little thing. I did have a Karcher before and that packed up after about 2 years. So I went straight down Screwfix and got this one. And it's been a little gem. Right, morning all, Monday morning, back on the job again. I'll just turn you around and show you what I've got planned for the next 2 days. Bear with me. So I've got this ceiling to skim over. The tops of these might cause me a problem, so I'm going to see if there's some screws holding them in. I did look underneath. Sometimes you can see the screws underneath bolting them in, but not on this one. So they're probably up and over, so I've got to take them off. So not a massive ceiling, a couple of little awkward bits to get round and over, but not a problem. And then let's take you upstairs. I've got a little bathroom ceiling, which again is next to nothing, but they are not redecorating the walls at all. So I've got to put some low-tack masking tape up with some sort of plastic liner sheet just to protect these walls as best as possible. I think they've got some paint for touching up. Obviously they're going to have to touch something up at some point when they paint the ceiling. So that little ceiling to paint now, and they've had a leak from the shower and they've had this all cut out, and the guys have fitted that back. I don't think they fitted this patch back in properly, so it's just sitting there. So I'll put some timber braces in, fix that back, and then I shall just skim the whole wall really, rather than trying to patch that in, which they've asked me. I just said no, I'll just skim the whole wall. And a little tip, if you are decorating at home, don't ever do this. That's good. Or get a sheet of paper and sellotape it and put your colours on. But don't put these big colour swatches on the wall, because believe it or not, they can be a right bugger to rub down again and lose. You can paint over them and don't know, sometimes I just want to keep showing through that there's a shape under it. It takes a lot of rubbing down, so that's good. That's bad. That's bad, man. If you are doing low tack stuff where you don't want paint to come back off the wall, generally purple tape, this is it a Deltec? Yeah. Generally purple tape is a low tack one with a colour range. Yellow is usually your everyday stuff, and purple seems to be a low tack in a lot of makes. I just put this phone up to the wall just to leave it there for a second, and it get put a right close up on the camera on the paintwork, and it can really make work look terrible from more than what the human eye can see. Like when you look at that wall, there is a texture on it, of a roller texture, and if you was doing that as a decorator and filming it, yeah, it would look fine. But when you put the camera right close to it, it really shows. Look, watch this. Now if I showed you that as a decorator, you'd say, my God, he's rough. And it is a rough texture, but the cameras really enhance any imperfections. So I'm going to start filming from about 15 yards away, I think. So I've gone over that yellow, the purple low-tack tape with the frog low-tack tape, which is their yellow one. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with my colours. Normal frog tape, everyday one, is green. The low-tack with the frog is yellow, and they do an orange one, I think, for something else. But anyway, the purple one was almost too good as a low-tack. It wanted to come off, so I've just put some of the frog tape round. And now I'm going to drop some of this stuff round, and that will drape down the wall. I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, that's that all sheeted up. Covered up as much as I possibly can, really. Covered all that up down there, all sheeted. Sheeted across the bath. Obviously I've got to scrape the ceiling. Radiator as always, back of the door. Floor, whole quilt on the floor. Right, so just got to do something with that light fitting. Drop that vent a bit, and then I can scrape all this in. Give it a good scrape, and then a PVA. Let's get you on the old head cam. Alright, let's see what's going on with this. How does that come off? I've not seen one like this before. Usually you can sort of see does it twist? Is it like a twist catch? There's nothing around the edge. Can't be that hard, surely. Does that just twist, spin? Oh, for fuck's sake, I fucking hate all this. Right, there's absolutely nothing, no screw, no grub screw, no catch, anything to that. And I'm imagining it's just this edge that's got to come off. Ah, did that turn? Oh, something moving there, got movement. I want to break it. Feels like there's some movement or something. Don't know if it feels good movement though. No, I don't know. I do not know. Let's try this for a second, hold on. Let's get this down. It's going to be a pig and all, isn't it? Oh, is it one of them? They come out now. It's obviously got the fan on it, hasn't it? The vent. That's the thing, if that vent's been fixed down from above, like that vent's poking out there, I should just click that's the one. Forgetting myself here. You do forget, if you don't do these regular, with our plaster regular, you don't always see these things every day. And sometimes you just forget. Right, I think I'll, this is the thing, you take these screws out, and they're barely in. Because the hole is, look, see that one ain't even in. If you take them out, and then you plaster, and then that becomes your problem now, to get that back in. But it's all part of the game, isn't it? See how it screws through there, but it's... I'll probably just leave that out to dry, and then I'll put a bit of silicone behind it and stick it back some more, like a CT1 or something. Like that even. Let's tuck that up there for now, get that out of the way. That's it, get the bloody thing out of the way. Right, now this thing here. I was presuming this would do the same, just turn and unclip, but there's movement, but I don't know if it's the movement we want. See if I can get up above it. It feels like it wants to come off on the edge, but I don't know if that feels good or not. If it's just, why is that doing that and not moving? Well, I could plaster it with it up there, but I don't really like to. It's not often I get beat by anything like this. Surely that's just got to slide off, isn't it? But then how does it stay on there once you put it back? Feels like I'm putting, feels like it wants to go, but it's like a bit of a scratching, crunching sound on it. It feels like I'm delaminating something. Do you know what? I'm just going to fucking put some tape around that. I'll hold my hands up. I'm no electrician. I don't want to damage anything. So I don't think they're going to take it down. It doesn't seem like they're going to take it down. It's only there. Look. I'll just get into it. It's not good though. It's not right. Absolutely nothing on there to suggest that that's got any sort of screw or anything in it, but there's a lip. I think it's that. Oh, come on. If I pull it too hard, I'm just going to rip the fixings out of the ceiling. I really don't want to plaster with it up there. It's not me. That's a little turn, that is. Oh, see, it's. Do we do this? Oh, is it just. Oh, I'm putting a bit of force on that as well, right? I'm not going light on that. No, you know what? I'm just going to take that up. Start breaking it, and you've got to start going down the route of getting them a new one. Suddenly 50 quid down on the job. So bit of a bodge, but once it's all plastered in, no one's going to know. Right. So when you're scraping these, you're only just going for a light scrape to get the heads off. You're not trying to scrape it flat, because you won't. All you're trying to do is get a sort of level playing field, really, and just get the worst of the heads off. Don't spend hours doing it. You run your hands along, you'll soon feel that it's like not like a cheese grater anymore. It's just a few sort of high spots and low spots. You ready for a bit of PVA? I always miss one. Do you know what? It doesn't matter how big the room is, I always miss one. If I walked to the room and there was one in there, I'd miss it. I'm back on the PVA again. I was using SBR for quite a while, through the winter really, because SBR is not so dependent on temperature and atmosphere to dry. It just generally dries. But this stuff, if it's damp in the room and it's cold and not moisture about, on the wrong walls it will just sit there for hours. So I was using SBR a lot. I find SBR, as good as it is, it's so thin, you can't thicken up what's already thin, but you can obviously thin down what's already thick. So PVA is already a lot thicker, so you don't get it dripping so much. I always do my edges first. suppose we all do our edges first. Get them in there. Don't neglect the edges, you know, some people might just put a roller across it and roll up to the edges, but you do want to get into the corners. Because it will start going off on you. That board's got a bloody lump. You know what, I might just stick a bit of drip of foam under that, I don't know. We'll see. So I knew they'd had a repair in the wall. Obviously these bits have been screwed in. This hasn't, there's the board for it, but they never fixed it in, so I wasn't really prepared for that, but lucky enough I found an old bit of wood on the van. So I'll just cut a couple of blocks out of it just to bridge there, try and get 1, 2, maybe 6, and I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then put the board to that, and 2, 2, 2. Yes, I'd rather have like enough wood to do down both sides really, and across and make a proper frame out of it. But I haven't got the timber, so this will do. This is So we're all scrimmed up. There was another crack there. Always look for other cracks as well as the actual obvious part you're doing. Just cast your eye over the wall, see if there's any other cracks. So yeah, over the weekend I got a comment attached to one of my videos which sort of suggested that I was a bit of a bodger and the job was crap. And it's funny, then you just want to answer them people straight back and explain yourself. Why I did the video, why I did what I did. So I've just got to get it out of my system, I think, really. Obviously we can turn comments off when we post videos. We can have no comments ever said to us, but that's not the point of it. You want to interact a bit and you want people to say, that was a good video, thanks, you've helped me out. Or someone else might say to me, why don't you do this? You know, I'm never going to say I know everything. Well, I've been doing this for donkey's years. There's always someone else with a better method. But the video I did, it was about putting an angle bead onto a wall, onto a corner of a wall, when the wall on one side had already been plastered. Let me turn you around and I'll explain it all. I'd just like to see what anyone else thinks, really. Because I don't class myself as a bodger, but if you're a tradesman, if you're telling me you've never cut a corner in your life, then you're a liar. So anyway, let me turn you around and explain what the comment was about the video that I made and why I made the video, which is more importantly, why I made it. So the video, which if you look back on my playlist, you can watch the actual video. It was about how to put an angle bead on a wall if one side had already been plastered. Now, so this was the situation. Take this wall, for instance. The customer had plastered and painted this wall. He didn't want to do any more painting that was necessary. He'd sort of said, I don't want to do more, I just want to paint what you're doing. So I'm working under instruction. Because he had the windows being put in after, this reveals, or this I think it was a door frame, this hadn't been plastered. So obviously I need an angle bead on there. So instead of planting one on top, which then means I've got to feather right off or do the whole wall to lose that angle bead. What I decided to do was chop the plaster out, the width of an angle bead, set the angle bead into that, so the angle bead in theory then sits flush with that wall. So all I've got to do is feather into about there. So none of that needs plastering, none of that needs painting, which I did. And I just thought that's a good opportunity to make a video on that, because I've been in situations before where something's happened and there's wallpaper, but you know, and they've taken a strip of wallpaper off because they've got a bit of a spare roll. So there might be wallpaper there and you've got to do, you know, like a similar thing. So you can't plaster all the way to there because they've got wallpaper that they want to match. So I just thought I'd do a little how-to video to get out of that sort of situation by chopping in. Anyway, someone commented and said, what a load of crap, it's a bodge, it's a crack waiting to happen. And I've done that a couple of times over the years, I don't know, a few times I suppose, for various reasons. You know, there might be a radiator right there, there might be something else there, so you can't go all the way to there. And I've never had a problem, it's never cracked. So I just wanted to sort of address that, and because it does make you scratch your head, and you know, someone puts a negative comment and you think to yourself, that's just what I've always done. Is it a bodge? I've never known any different. No one's ever taught me how to do that. It's just what my common sense has taught me. But is it a bodge? I don't know. I know it's not the right way. The right way is obviously put a bead on and skim down. But then when you put beads on things, not so bad on a windowsill, but when you're sort of putting beads on and you've got thin skirting boards, you start adding beads on, you start losing the top of the skirting, especially if it's thin. You start sort of, the plaster wants to come further out than the top of the skirting. But anyway, that's why I did what I did really. One, just to make an instructional video. When you're doing these sort of videos, when you see something different that comes up, your mind thinks, oh okay, that's something I can film, it's a different bit of content, because you don't just want to be doing flat wall, flat ceiling every day. It's boring to film, boring to watch. So when you do get a situation that comes up which is a little bit more interesting, you sort of go for it. You think, oh okay, that'll make an interesting video for someone. But anyway, so that's why I did what I did. It's on the playlist. I think it's like how to add a corner bead on the wall or something. But yeah, but you're just interested to know if other people think it was as bad a job as someone else did. But now I've had my chance to explain why I did it, I feel a lot better. Is it just me, or have all plasterers got cast iron fingers? Like, you can see how hot that is. Obviously I can feel it, but it doesn't burn. I can sit and have a cup of tea while that wall PVA goes off. Do a mix, chuck these on. Right, all mixed up, ready to go. I shall put me on my head. I may chat and have a waffle, or I might just put some music on it. But nice little job, nice and secure, nice little car park. There's the van down there. Access straight out the back of the kitchen into the van. So not a bad job at all. Just having a clean up. I pulled all the tape off. Just a nice little go along with a little plastic trowel. Just cutting off any overspill. Just run along it gently and then scrape up to it. Give me that nice crisp line. And then when it's decorated, they'll just have to maybe put like a bit of cork along there, just to give it a bit of separation. But yeah, pretty tidy. Considering they don't want to decorate this bathroom again, so they wasn't going to have this ceiling done. I think they've had all the others done, and they just thought, you know, we can't have one Arctic ceiling in the house. Yeah, in hindsight, they would have had it done before the bathroom was decorated, but it doesn't matter. You just take your time and use the right tape and stuff. You can do it. When you do this sort of thing and you're cutting these things back, don't do it too early. Wait until basically your ceiling's finished. You won't go off too hard that you can't do this. You'd rather do it when it's dry because it just cracks off it. If you try to do this early, all you're going to do is smudge down there, which totally defeats the object of ever putting tape up. So it come out right around the light. That's all good. This wall's all done now. Doesn't even need another trowel. I'll just give it a wipe down with a cloth along the ceiling and the wall line, just get any smears off. Got to find a longer screw for that, which I always keep a box of them in the van actually. You'll come across that a lot. You'll unscrew a plug socket, put 3 or 4 mil of plaster on, and you'll find that the screw was probably only 2 mil biting in originally, and then it won't go back in. So just go down your electrical place or even on Amazon and just buy some longer screws, electrical socket screws. It does make life easier. I'm going to call that done. Right, that's that done now, all cleared up. Cleared everything out of here. Bathroom's all done and cleared. Looking nice and sharp. And the tops, it's worth sheeting up. Worth spending half hour sheeting up. There's barely any clean up in there. So, now then. Tomorrow it is just this ceiling. Looks like there's a little bit of fragileness there. I'll have a look at that. I might just put some big mesh over that. So yeah, this ceiling to do, and that's a nice little treat really, because the ceiling's there, garden gate's there, fan's there. How easy is that? And to be honest, I'd rather do a big ceiling than this, than them 2 little silly bits upstairs. They're so fiddly. So they take just as long as well. I mean, it's 2:30 now. I was in here at 8. I've only done that little bathroom ceiling and that wall. But it's all the sheeting up and clearing up. Whereas tomorrow I'll get in here at 8. I'll obviously sheet up, scrape down. It won't probably be much difference in time, to be honest. So I shall meet you back here in the morning for this one. And I will drop them lights because I can see exactly how they undo. And the fuse box is out there. So them lights will either be dropped or down, really. Take them down if I can. And usually I like to take these covers off as well. I'll see how that is. Sometimes they can be fuckers to get back on, excuse my language. But I'll see, I might just put tape around it and skim up to it. But usually I like to clear as much of stuff out of the way, let you get right under, and then put it back. Always makes for a nicer job. But yeah, see you tomorrow.